Welcome to Romera Records Virtual Cast. Today we have on Danny. How's it going, man?
Very well, sir. Can't complain, man. It's a good day.
Awesome. So, found you from Podmatch, and basically we're just gonna get into what you do and just give everybody a little backstory to how you got there, and just go from there.
Absolutely, man. So, guys, my name is Danny Cárdenas. I'm based out of here in South Florida. And my profession, I'm a personal development coach for men online. I help men just live better lives through personal development, the basics, positive habits, nutrition, and fitness. I have them follow a very simple process each day just to, again, get elevated and just live righteous lives, man. Eliminate vices, just live clean. And by the way, I follow the same process that I tell my people to follow. So I'm going to try this with them. So it's all based on experience. Over time, I've gotten in shape mentally, physically, spiritually. And now I realize I'm getting older. Jackson, it's time to share this with folks. It's not enough to, get better yourself. It's like a human innate need to give to others. Sometimes we fight it, right? But our conscience tells us, help this person out, man. Come on, dude. You were there too. They need some guidance, some help, and your influence helps you do that, man. So it's all about living well and helping others. And that's where I'm at this point, man. And I'm more than happy to share my insights, what I do well, what I've messed up on. You can't hide from that either. No one's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's a bold move to even get in the career field that you're in because a lot of people like the phrase the imposter syndrome, like when you get to a certain point and then people are asking you for help, you're like, why are you asking me? So do you feel like you ever had that when you decided to start doing this kind of business? It's like, I am just teaching people what I already know.
Oh, for sure, man. There's always going to be a lingering imposter syndrome feeling, but I don't think that ever goes away, man. I have a gut feeling it never goes away. It's natural. You just have to face it and let your intentions lead the way. For example, I don't know everything about what I help people with, nutrition, fitness, but I'm pretty good at it, better than most. And I believe that my intention to help is what counts there. So
Hmm.
it's like, hey, John Doe, you come to me for help. I'm gonna give you what I know out of love. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be practical advice. By no means, I'm no slouch in what I do, but we're gonna learn along the way, man. So I'm gonna give you what I know, and I'm gonna let my heart lead the way. And I think that matters, man. That good intention, I've got to believe, it's just based on karma. It's gonna lead the way for me. Information's gonna come to me. I'm gonna do more research. Give John Doe more information as he progresses on his program. So we're getting better together, really. And so that's what lets me overcome that fear of not knowing everything. Same thing when I get on camera on social media and express my thoughts. I get butterflies still sometimes, but hey, I detach and I say, it's not about Danny right now. It's about the person watching who I can affect. And that helps me get over my damn self and just get it done. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I've never really heard anybody say that before. Is if you're nervous, stop thinking about it as like, everybody's waiting on you. It's like, I'm trying to just help other people out. Like, I'm just trying that's the only reason why I'm doing this is so I can give people info. So it's not so much the pressure's on me, it's just to help other people out. That's pretty interesting.
Hell yeah, man. Think about like eating humble pie. Why? It's like, dude, it's not about Danny right now, man. Get over yourself. There's what, over 7 billion people in the world? Come on, man. Get over yourself, Danny. You may not look great right now. Your face will be a little bit greasy, but it's not about them. It's about Jackson and his folks as in his example. Give him what you got. That's it, man.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people they struggle with their career field or they struggle with doing a good job because they have that mindset of like, oh, everybody's watching me, I got to be perfect and stuff. But as you said, there's 7 billion people on this planet. If you mess up, I can find, 7 other billion people who've made that same mistake. So it's fine to mess up and not having that mindset will sometimes stop people from even beginning. Like if they feel like, oh, I have to be perfect in everything I do, then they just might not do it at all.
Exactly. You know what's the problem with that too? I've come to learn over time, just through experience and my own coach and things like that, is that that's actually very selfish. Not wanting to share information, get on camera, for example, where you can affect many people, hundreds, thousands, maybe even more, because you're self conscious about how you look or feel yourself, and so you're holding back information because of your own insecurities. When John Doe watching, you could have helped him out, man, but you didn't get over yourself at that moment. So it's really just about thinking about others, man, more than you. And ultimately, you'll win as a result. If you believe in karma, man, you give to people, and it's going to come back to you regardless, whether you want anything in return or not, man. So that helps too, as little guiding principles, 100%.
Is is there some things that you have put together that it's a like a process, like it's a like a step, like step one, step two? Is that how your process goes?
Yeah, for sure. So my personal development process that I help clients with, it's based on a morning routine. And I'll explain it to you. It's very structured, but very simple. I cover everything that's known as mind, body, and spirit. And you'll see what I mean. It starts off with waking up early, okay? As early as you can. Okay, that expresses gratitude for life. I consider that spirit, right? You're thanking God, you're waking up early, you're making the intention, maximize your day. Cool. From there, you go ahead and read. I like having people read 10 pages of a book a day, or at least looking up at a positive quote and really analyzing it and really deciphering it and see how it's going to help them in their lives. That's the mind. You're reading. You're getting the brain going, mind. From there, I have people go work out. That's body. Get them in a high frequency. Get the endorphins, the feel good chemicals going, dopamine. And what happens, Jackson? After getting those three basic steps done in the morning, by 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., you're already beating high on all fronts. You got momentum going for yourself. You've already taken care of Jackson. It's now time to take care of other people now. Jackson's good. He already took over his personal development. Now he can get online, okay, as an example, and share with others what works for him. The same process.
Mm.
And then it goes affecting people, and they go helping others too as a result. You know what I mean? So you take care of yourself first, a simple process, and then just bam, it's time to take care of other folks now. I'm good for the rest of the day. That's what it comes down to my program, man. Very simple.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people they do need to think about is sometimes you have to be selfish to take care of yourself. And most people I think they feel like it's preached like, oh, you're being too selfish, all and even you were saying that earlier, but it's for a different reason. It's like being selfish for a negative connotation is you just doing your own thing and not thinking about others. But then also you kind of have to be selfish so that you can take care of others. It's kind of like when you're in an airplane and they say the little baggie comes down, there's no oxygen. They say put yours on first so that you can help somebody else.
Dude, that's a perfect example. As simple as it is, that's what it is. And that old term, I may be butchering it, I'm paraphrasing, but let your cup overflow it. You know what I mean? Like you have to be good to help others. Selfish has a bad connotation. It's all about the context, man. Like I think you were touching up on that also. It's about the intention. Think about it. Detach and say to yourself, hey, if I'm working on myself hardcore in the morning, first things first, Danny comes first, but his intention is to get right, to get others right as a result. There's nothing wrong with that. It comes down to intention and context, like everything else. Language, behavior, context, context, context. And in today's age, we've lost track of that. We become too sensitive, emotional. We don't look at things for what they are. We look at them based on how we feel. But no, that's how miscommunication happens. Is this man really trying to hurt you or not? Context, man. Pay attention. Look at the patterns. You know what I mean? You can feel it. Just be smart. Get over yourself. That's all it is.
Yeah, and there's a I think a push for some people to start to have that mentality, but it takes like a what we say group think or a whole village of people to start having that mindset to start tweaking it. So yeah, that is important. I was going to ask, have you studied like certain sciences, whether it be like psychology or like body language or anything like that, mental certain yoga practices or whatever, to be able to help people mentally?
Yeah, for sure. I would say I've learned more through experience. One thing that's helped me understand human psychology is sales. I've
Mm.
been selling health insurance for years now, right? And in sales, you learn a lot about people, what makes them tick, what helps them reach a good decision for themselves to buy. You learn human psychology, okay, at its roots. You also learn how to, verbalize your thoughts, expressions to persuade people to a good outcome, positive for them. And so that's one thing that's helped me a lot in understanding people. As far as spiritualness, I love reading Stoic works, man, like Marcus Aurelius.
Mm.
I got this right here, actually, man. Freaking Meditations, classic, bro. Nothing
Okay.
but common sense quotes, practical life advice. It's beautiful. That helps me understand life at a bigger level. So it's kind of things that help me in spirituality. I also love books from like Napoleon Hill, the guy from Think and Grow Rich, Magic Life to Success, for example. And so just picking up different tidbits from those kind of people has helped a lot, man. And so I haven't studied like psychology formally, but more through actionable things like learning salesmanship, reading stoic books, those kind of things have helped me, man, in that regard. And it helps me a lot in my business too, because I'm dealing with people, personal development. So I'd better be good at it, right? So
Are
yeah,
you working by yourself or do you have a team?
solo, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that that's does it make it difficult or does it make it easier just because you doing everything by yourself?
It's simple, man. I think it comes down to the simplicity of my process. Everything from not just the actual program that I help people with, like I explained to you, it's very black and white, like 3 steps in the morning. But even my onboarding is very simple, man. I've narrowed it down to just black and white, do this, this, and that to get started with me. And even once you're in a program, it's the same thing. I think people stretch themselves too thin sometimes. They try to come up with too many processes, complicate things. I think it's based a lot of times out of fear. No, it's like just stick to common sense structure, and that can carry you a long ways, man. And it takes a lot off your plate too. You know what I mean? It's just do this, 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 and that, and that's it. As a single operator, solo operator, which I am, it helps me, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people get too caught up in our day and age where we're able to just like, on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you can just scroll and get new and more content and we feel pressured to continuously put out all this content and we've seen the platforms reward you for constantly putting stuff out, but sometimes we forget that people haven't seen, what we do and they don't know who we are. So you might have a group of friends that all know what you do, but if one more random stranger comes into that group, they don't have a clue what you are. So you have to reintroduce yourself and re-talk about who you are and what you do. So I think a lot of times we forget those like foundation things of just doing the small things every single day because we're like, oh, I used to do that or I've done it all the time. But it's like, you still have to do it.
That's all it is. Like Al Iverson said, we're talking about practice. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Stick
yeah.
to the basics, man. It's like life itself, Jackson. I've come to learn, man. Obviously, life gets hard, difficult, but it shouldn't be complicated. It's usually simple. We just overthink things, literally. And so that's what it comes down to me. My motto is keep it simple, stupid, man. So regarding, say, my marketing on social media as an online coach, I just repeat the same thing every single day from the heart, obviously, but it's just the same thing being said every day, the same message. Because there's my people who are my established audience that are following me loyally, but also new people, right? It's social media. And so John Doe, who's never heard of me or doesn't know who the hell I am, I just got to break it down for him every day, man. Let him know what I do, how I can help him in a very simple way. Repetition, just repetition. Practice makes perfect, man. Just bam, bam, bam. Keep it simple, dude. No need to complicate things. I think a lot of people switch up their style and delivery too much, and
Mm.
it creates inconsistency. It's like, bro, I feel like you feel more confident in somebody who is consistent, no matter how simple their process is. It's like, okay, this guy doesn't deviate, he doesn't miss. All right, cool. I might trust him because of that, there's consistency there.
Yeah,
So
and we have like athletes who we watch them do the same thing over and over. Like everybody knows Steph Curry is going to shoot some threes in a game, but guess what? He's still shooting the threes and still making them, and he's not going to deviate. As you were talking about, so many people try to change up their style. Like you're not going to see Steph Curry going out there trying to do some crossovers and dunking on people. Like he. It's not his style, but he knows what he's good at and he sticks to it. And that's why he's like one of the greatest ever.
exactly that level of mastery, just literally just mastering the mundane. Because I'm sure he's not excited to go practice every day the same thing. Maybe he is. I'm not in his head, right? But just from observing. But he knows that it works. And so mastering that by doing the Monday every day of his life for decades has made him the best in the world. That's what people tune in. They know what he's gonna do. It's nothing new, but it's still exciting because he's so damn good at it, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, dude.
Yeah, and just continuously to do those boring things. Like I'm sure for like Michael Jordan and some other players who just have these phenomenal free throw percentage, people are probably wondering like how do you get so good? How do you get so good? Shoot free throws. Like do that boring thing. Somebody asked me like, dude, how do you get so good at pull-ups? I was like, I do pull-ups. Like that's
That's it.
how you get good at. There's no secret sauce, and I think a lot of people look for that because sometimes salespeople they try to make it seem like there's some secret sauce that they know that the people need to pay them to find out. But a lot of times, as you've been preaching this whole time, is just do those simple things and you'll get it.
That's all it is, bro. And I think trying to add new processes to your system, it comes down again to insecurity, not feeling adequate or believing that something can be so simple yet effective. It's like almost that disbelief factor, you know? It's like, nah, bro, you just gotta trust the process, man. Just stick to the script, and that's it, dude. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you have talks with people about nutrition, you tell them to eat certain foods and they can be at a certain point like, oh, you could lose this much weight if you eat this many calories and all that kind of stuff. And and yeah, that stuff is simple and a lot of people don't believe it at first of what they can end up looking like or having a fit lifestyle just eating, just changing that thing out for this. And you can make a drastic difference, but it's the hard part is just doing it and being consistent. So, do you have any kind of stories or scenarios that you've been through where, well, not you personally, but like somebody you've helped, where you've given them some guidance where they thought like, oh, that I don't think that would make that big of a difference, but when they actually tried it, they found out.
Yeah, for sure, man. And upon onboarding my first client, or actually my second client ever, he's someone who didn't work out much. And like I said, working out is part of my personal development process. And so he was a little bit shaky. I could feel it in him. We were talking via text, but he can still sense people, right?
Hmm.
When you are doing that. And so I asked him, like I asked everyone that I work with, will you commit to at least 5 days in the gym? And he hits me back with, I don't know, maybe we can do 4. I'm like, brother, trust me. You see me doing this day in and day out, and you can do it too. We're gonna get this done. The workout is very practical. It's nothing crazy, but you have to learn to believe in it by actually doing it. You've got it in you. I'm not gonna kill you, but I will make you work. Do you
Hmm.
believe in yourself? Yes. Let's get to it. And so it just comes down to trust in not just your coach who's helping you, but yourself too, man. You gotta help people realize that, man, you're capable of these things that you want, but there's only one way to find out. Get off your ass and get it done, man. That's it.
Yeah, and a lot of people wish that they could find out another way without having to do the work, but that's it. You just have to get in there and do it. So in that scenario, did the person end up sticking with it? They were shaky at first.
Yeah, for sure. They ended up saying, hey, I can do this. And they're freaking flying. I never heard one more rebuttal from them again from then. It's been 2 months out of their 3 month program. They've just been killing it, bro, not missing a day, just getting it done. But it took them the action to actually believe in themselves. That's all it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that when you are able to even do something for a period of time, whether it be an extended, you were talking about doing a 3 month program or whether it be a year program, I think you just kind of have to pass like a threshold. Like if you go too short, then sometimes people aren't kind of getting the grasp of it and then they kind of get defeated. And a lot of people do the whole thing where they like they step on the scale after like 2 days and they're like,
Mm,
why haven't I lost weight? It's like it's not that quick, my
crazy.
guy.
That's what I've had to train my. That's a good example, dude, of patience. The weight scale, it tells you a lot about life. It teaches you a lot. For example, me, I still have temptations to like weigh myself every few days, but I've ingrained in my mind, no, just do it once a week on Fridays,
Mm.
okay? To then report it. I actually have a coach myself. So when your coach has a coach, that's a good thing, right? You're always learning. And so I've ingrained it to myself, man, no, you're going to weigh yourself every Friday, fight off the temptation and do it every other day. Friday it is, that's it. And it brings you a lot of peace because you're not freaking, going to the scale every day and getting defeated, frustrated because you're not losing pounds. It's like, bro, be realistic. Give time. And that's it, man.
Yeah, that it is important to continuously stay on your game and coach yourself. Do you have a program for yourself, or is it just some mental coaching that you just have to stick on yourself?
For sure. Literally the same program that I help people with, the early wake up, the reading, working out. I do the same exact thing literally to a T every day myself. And I'm actually documenting it on social media. So my
Mm.
people are watching me do it. So there's no excuse for them not to do it. And so that's what it is. And that's what brings me happiness, man. It brings me how could I say, a clear conscience, because a lot of people sell things that they don't abide by, and that's not cool, dude. I don't think
Yeah.
that's right, man. Um, Not to say that they're bad people for doing it, but it's like there's no substance there, man. You're leading by example if you're doing the same exact thing that you're selling somebody, or at least if you're experiencing it yourself, man. So yeah, to answer your question, I just do the same process: wake up early, read, work out, and that gets me going, man. And that's why I'm beating high right now. I woke up earlier, did the whole thing that I just explained to you, and I walked in here at a high frequency. And this is real. Like I have endorphins running through me right now. There's no way I can hide it. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I'm just here to provide value, dude.
Yeah, yeah, being able to do that is something that most people, they forget that those things can help them. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I need my coffee or I need this energy drink or whatever," but it's like, did you try exercising? Like that, like that could get you up in the morning. So doing something as simple as that will help though, for sure. Is there something that you have tried that was I guess like different, like it was kind of like off of your normal schedule, off of your normal practices, and you found did work, or something that you also found that didn't work?
Yeah, for sure. So on the weekdays, to fit everything to my schedule, all right, getting my own morning process done and then my social media marketing, and then walking into my current full time job because I'm still working full time until the coaching business does pop up, which it will eventually. It's very time tight, constrained. And so I wake up Monday through Friday at 2:30 a.m. to get everything done that I have to before I walk into my full time.
2:30.
It's awesome, dude. I love it. Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
It's incredible, man.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm on some Mega Man stuff, dude. But it just helps me get everything done, and it feels good. And I've tried waking up later, and it just doesn't work for my situation currently, man. It's just not feasible. I don't
Mm.
get enough time in to do everything that I have to do and feel good about myself. Ultimately, that's what helps.
Yeah.
And so I think what I'm coming down to is just learning to sacrifice. Stick to what works for you and your moment and time in your life, in this chapter of your life. Even if it's uncomfortable, do what you got to do, man. It's not about how you feel. It's just sticking to the script, like I've said before, man. And that'll carry you. Okay. And that builds confidence, man. Waking up every day at 2:30 just gives me just really self-trust. That's what it comes down to. That's why I'm still here on a weekend, talking to you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the spirit to get it done, you know? I would have no self-confidence.
I'm sure there are times where you aren't able to accomplish like the things you wanted to do, or you might not wake up at that 2:30 or whatever it have be. What are some ways that you, I guess, get yourself back going? It's like, oh, I didn't do that thing, but this is how I'm gonna get back on track.
Oh, for sure. So two things, two parts. And it's funny you mentioned that because this has been a big theme, recurring thought in my mind. Just knowing in your heart, man, truly, honestly, that you gave it your honest best every day. Your
Mm.
attempt to get your tasks done. It's not enough to say, "Oh, I worked hard." Did you really put everything into it? And even if you missed a few things that you were supposed to do, as long as your conscience is resting easy, that's all that matters, man. That helps me go into the next day. Because there will be many times that by the end of the night, I haven't been able to accomplish all my social media marketing that I know I have to do. Okay, but I told myself, no, detach. Your heart was in the right place, and you really sweated the whole day to get things done. You didn't hit the mark. It's cool. Tomorrow's a new day. Keep going, and that helps you, man. And I think the universe listens to that, man. If you know in your heart that you've done everything you could, and you know that's the case when you lay down, just beat the crap. You're like a corpse. You know damn well you did everything you could that day, or else you don't feel that physically or even mentally. That's a sign right there. So every day I'm going to sleep, just beat the crap. I fall asleep within 10 seconds of closing my eyes. That's how I know darn well that I've done everything that I could. And that helps me propel to the next day, even when I've missed a few tasks. That clear conscience.
Yeah, and I tell people that all the time is that, they'll tell me that they're having trouble sleeping, and I'm just like, well, what'd you do that day?
Huge.
Because if you weren't tired, then maybe you didn't do enough to become tired. You don't deserve good sleep because you haven't worked for it.
Dude, a guilty conscience will keep you up, will it not? If
Yeah.
your mind is Resting easy, it's because you know damn well you've done everything you've had to do to the best of your ability. All right, cool. No guilt. Sleep like a baby. That's it.
Yeah, that's the epitome. A baby. A baby is like, I ain't got nothing to
Yeah.
worry about. I'm going to sleep right now. So yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I always thought it was just making yourself tired, but as you said, if you feel like you didn't do what you were supposed to do that day, then that's why you're awake, is you feel bad that you haven't accomplished stuff. So it's keeping your brain wired, and your brain knows like, oh, we could have done more. Like knows the potential of that day. So yeah, that's also an interesting way to look at it.
100%, man. Clear conscience, man, based on the work done to the best of your ability. That's it.
Are you a physical goal writer? Sometimes some people they have like their goals that they write down and they knock them out and then they scratch that off the list. And then some people are just just a mental note kind of person. Do you like to make sure you see your goals, like have a goal tracker?
Yeah, I have a very simple version. I have on my iPhone a little notepad. I have my a long-term vision written down.
Hmm.
It just breaks down what I want to do with my life, where I want to take my personal development coaching business to, what it's going to result in, etc. And I have it written down in a very simple manner. And so every day morning when I wake up, I just look at that and I repeat it to myself a few times. That long-term vision, long-term vision. I ingrain it into my subconscious that way. From there, I just tuck it away. I don't look at it the rest of the day. It's already seeped into my subconscious. The rest of the day, I just obsess on what I have to do every day to reach that end vision, the end result. Yeah, so I have in a very simple way. Me personally, I keep it just black and white, man. Written down a long-term vision, look at it each morning, and that's it. But some folks do make it more intricate. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever keeps you on track, whatever helps keep you structured. Screw it. Do what you got to do.
I know there's a lot of people out there like you, and I'm actually like you where I have a full-time job, but also do certain things. I have two businesses that I run. One is this as a podcast, and then I have a content creation company. And I work with a lot of people when I do those things. So I'm super busy. What are some ways that you can, I guess, give some info to people who are just like us, where we run something outside of our full time job, but still able to accomplish stuff? As you're saying, I don't know your work schedule, but you said you have to wake up at 2:30 to be able to get what you want done in a day. What are some things that you can advice that you can give to people who like, hey, I don't have enough time? It's like, all right, this is how you make time.
For sure. As ironic as it sounds, make yourself as busy as possible, but on things that will actually propel you forward long term. Literally fill in every minuscule second of your day with something productive to do. Now, the common thought is understandable is, hey, overloading myself is not going to help. I don't have enough time as it is. But no, dude, what that does, filling every second of your calendar with something productive to do, it helps you maximize time even further. It helps you value time even further where there's gratitude for time and the maximization of it, bro, that's going to seep into everything else that you do. At this point, you can be like, oh, I only have, for example, 1 hour for the podcast. I'm going to give it my all. And then I just have 30 minutes to say, cook and eat lunch. From there, I only have 20 minutes to do this coaching call in my case. But just breaking things down like that to the minutia, bro, it just helps propel you forward. So I think having your plate stacked to a maximum is not a bad thing. It's all about just breaking things down and just maximizing that time, dude. Because a lot of times we'll find ourselves drifting away. We'll have some empty time in our schedule and we're just gonna piss it away, going on social media, not being productive, doing this or that, maybe digging into vices. So I think productivity is the key there, man. Maximizing your time.
I'm going to say everybody listen to what Danny just said. Play that back, record it, everything, because I've noticed that for myself. Like when the busier I schedule my day, like there are things I know I want to do. Like I want to stretch, I want to exercise, I want to make sure I got food in the fridge, all that kind of stuff. But like when I have stuff on an actual calendar, like I actually have things to do, that's when I feel the best and I feel like I actually was productive, is because I scheduled things and they got knocked out. And then, as you said, at the end of the day, I'm tired because I know that I got a lot of stuff done. But like when I'm just doing stuff where like, "Ah, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that. Then I don't feel like I really got anything truly done as much as I do when I schedule myself to be busy.
100%, man. It all comes down to two things that I love repeating to myself: purpose over pleasure and duty over everything. That's it, man.
Now, are there some other things that you have been trying to get into with this career field that you haven't quite finished yet? So you're doing nutrition stuff, and you're doing like some mental health, mental fitness, that kind of stuff. Is there anything that else that you're trying to get into, different avenues?
Yeah, for sure. So this is my main focus as far as business, and my ultimate goal is to get into real estate. I love the idea of real estate investing, and I know damn well that this business, one, it's very lucrative and it's very expansive. It's going to help me get there. And so my goal is to just keep doing this for as long as I can. I just love it. Brings me happiness because it makes my life better. But at the same time, it can be a springboard financially and to get into real estate investing. That really is one of my end goals too. So yeah, man, just one thing at a time.
Yeah, real estate is something that a lot of people is kind of like that, waking up early in the morning. Like everybody wants to do it, but who's going to actually, get out there and do that? Is what's attracted you to real estate specifically?
Just what they call the financial freedom aspect. Obviously, it requires work forever, but it's pretty fascinating being able to take control of money, putting into an asset and letting it cash flow for you every month. That's awesome because it's empowering more than anything. It's not just about the money, it's just the freedom that it brings, man. Just the idea that you can control these tools that society has created, paper money to your advantage, to do good with it, to bring yourself and your family peace. You can take care of them whenever they need it. When you need something, Danny's got you. The idea of that really fascinates me, man. Just freedom, the peace that we seek as human beings. That's what that can give you. So that's why I'm aiming towards it. 100%. It's actually written down on my little long-term vision thingy that I just told you about on my iPhone. Yeah, it's one of the things
Oh,
I've got down there.
okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're able to create that for yourself, that kind of freedom, and it does, it'll free up maybe time, it'll free up your life so that you can do the things that you want to do, and then you just become a happier person. And that's all what we strive to do, is just to be happy and be able to be in a feel good mood. So I definitely think that that's important, for people to find different ways to make money and find ways to have themselves a freedom outlet to express themselves. So if you're doing that, let's say you do your real estate and you're doing all these other things, is there one that you find is the most important as far as like just, I want to get this much done? Is it the health and fitness stuff, or is it more of like the real estate or anything else that you do, or like your other job?
I'd say ultimately the real estate is the end goal, but
Hmm.
at the same time, the personal development will complement it forever. One, not just because it's the one that's helping me achieve the real estate, but because it's helping me achieve my better life on my own. So it's going to be forever. So real estate first, but very close second, a eternal collaboration, the personal development coaching business, and doing it for myself, man. 100%.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, those are all things that can definitely help people, and I'm very impressed that you can manage to do those things because most people they struggle. I've seen people try and do multiple different things that require a lot of time, and it's difficult because you get one, mentally exhausted, and you could also be physically exhausted, but to have the focus to be able to do it, that's impressive. Do you find yourself looking for ways to bring back your focus, and how you are able to continuously concentrate on different things?
Yeah, for sure, man. Just the fear of copping out is what really keeps me going, man. Not missing. The doubts are going to be there, of course. I'm a human being like everybody else. I don't think they're ever going to go away. But just keeping that end vision in mind and having little structured systems in place to help guide me. We need reminders. For example, in my work area, I love sticky notes. Sticky notes are beautiful because they're in your face reminder of what you have to do. They keep you focused on track. And so creating little cues, mental anchors, I like to call them, can really help lead the way. It's not enough to be optimistic, okay? We need actual physical, I believe, instruments in our face that keep us on track and grounded, man. Because people are malleable. We're easily distracted.
Yeah, and sometimes I have friends like this. They'll be really optimistic. They're like, "Oh man, yeah, let's do this. Oh yeah, let's do that." I'm like, "Cool, yeah, let's do that." And then like nothing happens. And I'm just like, "Hey, what happened?" Because some people they have that mindset of, "Yeah, let's do this stuff. Let's have fun. Let's go be productive." But then they don't have that action, and that's what I think separates the good from the great is people who can carry out the action and get the stuff done. Because if you're able to turn that dream into reality, then that's what gets you ahead of your peers, ahead of your competition.
Correct, man. And we just need reminders along the way, man. Stay focused. How? You can figure it out. Come up with your own devices. But as long as you stay on track with reminders, you're good. People, I come to learn one thing, man. Everybody looks for like a cookie cutter answer to
Mm,
stay focused. But ultimately, come up with your own thing, man. As long as you just keep it simple and consistent, that's all it is. Do what works for you, all right? Be your
yeah,
own person, but stick to the script. That's
yeah,
it.
that's for sure. I definitely believe that. Are there some role models that you have that are doing what you're doing that you look up to, or it could be somebody that you personally contact, or just somebody online that you see?
That influences me, yeah, for sure. My own coach, Wes Watson. Wes Watson, he's incredible, man. He's a big time influencer. He's probably the hottest person in personal development right now. Very in your face, cutthroat style, but that's who he is. That's what helps him, really explode in the industry. And so he's my personal coach. A lot of the personal development processes that I help people with, I picked up from him. They've helped me refine my own life. I get nutrition tips from him, also everything. So that is really my biggest influence at the moment, Wes Watson, man. And I just emulate what he does because it works. Okay, and that's what it is, man. Proof is in the pudding.
How did you find them?
Him, I was introduced to him via podcast of Andy Frisella. Are you familiar?
The name sounds familiar, but I'm not too familiar with the podcast though.
Yeah, his podcast is full of real AF. Before that, he had the MFCO project.
Hmm.
He's a guy. He's also the owner of First Form Sports Supplements.
Oh yeah,
First
yeah, I
Form.
know First Form. Okay.
Yeah, that's Andy Frisella's company. That's how he started in that industry. But then he branched off into podcasting, personal development first with the MFCEO project, and now he has Real AF, which is same personal development but also intermixed with politics. He's big on that now. And so Wes Watson was a guest on his latest podcast, Real AF. I heard him. It's like one of those people who you hear for the first time and you're hooked, man. Okay, who the hell is this guy? Let me go in the rabbit. I went to Wes's podcast. He's got his own. It's called GP Penitentiary Life because he was in prison for almost a decade.
Mm.
And so I just listened to like every episode of his podcast, Hooked. And the process, he talks about your life mission should be based on what helps you get better. For me, it's always been personal development. And now it's time to share this with others. Make it a business. Make money while at it through good intentions, of course. And so once I heard him say that, I said, no, hell no. This is it. He happened to have a coaching program for coaches. And so I went on his landing page, linked up with him, and never looked back, man. He's taught me coaching for myself and my clients. And that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome. Is there something that you can say that has helped you the most? I guess from where you were when you started working with them to where you are now.
Just trust the process. When you're paying a professional who your heart tells you is the truth and is sincere, don't question what they tell you. Even if it doesn't feel right, trust matters. It's a part of being humble, right? We don't know everything. And if we're paying a professional, don't argue with them. Just go with the flow. It might just work out. And that's what's been happening for me ever since I started working with them. That's it. Just trust the man.
Yeah, that's why I tell people when it comes to like working in a team, I'm like, if somebody has a suggestion, just do it. Don't argue with it because if they're right, then they were right, and if they were wrong, you could tell them how they were wrong. So either way, either you got the right answer or somebody learned a lesson. Like that, those two things are guaranteed going to happen. So, and if you were wrong of questioning them, then you found out that you were wrong and you learned that lesson. So, yeah, you're right. If you're getting an expert to help you with something, just kind of listen to them and they'll help you out.
Exactly. And keep it simple. Why else are you paying them, dude? Come on,
Yeah.
man. Just listen, dude. Come on now. It's simple.
Yeah, just kind of checking your ego at the door with that kind of stuff is very important. So basically, all the stuff that you've done, it seems like it has, it has something to do with each other, with being able to do the personal coaching and real estate. That seems like you could turn that into one thing of like doing or turning into another thing of coaching real estate people. Is that something you want to do?
You never know, man. You never know. There's my peers, some of whom I know off the top of my head, that have learned online coaching in general from Wes Watson. He teaches people how to coach in general, what their zone of genius is. There's some folks who teach people real estate. That's their coaching basis, teaching them how to invest, how to become good realtors, for example, real estate agents. So you never know. You never know, man. You gotta have an open mind.
Yeah, I mean it's great to be able to have that opportunity and to have the knowledge that you do. So some people they kind of get off on like, oh, this is the only thing I can do and I need to stay on this track and which, by all means, if that's what you want to do, then you will be great at that. Like we were talking about earlier with Steph, like he's not going to be going out there, doing any kind of like crazy posterizing dunks or anything like that because he knows what he's good at and he just sticks to it. So, yeah, sometimes the variety can be bad, I guess, either way you look at it. So, a book. Do you have any books out or anything?
Myself, my own words.
Yep.
No, not yet. You never know. Leave it open to possibility. I think it might happen down the road. You never know. I mean, I love Stoicism as it is. Who knows?
Do you use any kind of AI or anything? Like a chat GPT or you never use those?
No, not myself. Hasn't occurred to me.
So something cheat code for you is using AI to write a book, and that's something that I plan on doing by the end of this year. Is writing a book and basically just using AI to help me out. I want to start doing ebooks first, because that's so simple. Like you can just basically use the AI to help you write an ebook, and then it can pretty much like write it for you, and all you have to do is make some edits, and then boom, you got an ebook that you can sell. So that's tip for you if you ever want to get into that.
Understood. So that would essentially, from what I understand, you would give it the basic ideas and they would do the rest for you, right?
Yeah, and then you can pretty much just go in and, change whatever like information that you want to put in there. So you would give it like some sort of info that you were like, hey, I want to talk about how fruit can increase your metabolism, just making something up. So you would just give it like some chapters or some headlines that you would start off with, and then it will kind of give you like guidelines like, okay, your first chapter can be about this, second chapter this, third chapter blah blah blah, and then you would just fill in the rest. And so that way your outline is pretty much done for you, and all you're doing is just filling in the topics and then you're done. That's an ebook. And ebooks, like I love when people give away free ebooks, but I'm willing to pay like $5-10 for random ebooks that I can just read and skim through, and that's very helpful information in my opinion.
Understood. Cool, man. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's something that I think that if people tap into that, like we were talking about earlier, with people who aren't willing to start doing stuff or they think it's too difficult, like that's AI has changed that for people. It allows them to be able to start something that they didn't know. Like if you don't know how to write a book, and you really want to write a book, the AI can help you get there quicker so that you can literally just, start your own business of writing nutrition books, writing self-help books, because people are buying books. Like I do audiobooks and I've got three books out right now,
Okay.
and they bring in a decent amount of money just for three books. Like some people, that's their job all day long is just reading and editing, and they're making tons of money off of having like 50 books out. I'm happy with the money I make from like 3 books. Like I get close to like $100 a month from have done 3 books, and I did those books like 2 or 3 years ago, and it still brings in money every month. So that's a cool thing to do, is having that kind of information out there and allowing people to access it, like we were talking about earlier. You just got to have it out there, and then people will use it. So do you have like YouTubes or anything like that? Where, well, I know you said you have your social media, but is there like long form content that you have out there?
No, all short form on Instagram. That's my main focus. I do have a YouTube channel, not very active though. It's the same name, Danny Boy Cardenas. It's the same as my Instagram, Danny Boy Cardenas. But Instagram really is the main focus. Just put out short form, minute or less clips of my lifestyle, my thoughts, etc.
Do you like Instagram as a platform better than any other platform right now?
Personally, yeah, I like the speed of it, the interactions, everything. It's all so simple. That's what really draws me to it, man. 100%. I think it's great for storytelling, especially what my focus is, my daily process, right? And it just lays everything out just black and white, man. Just bam, bam, bam. The efficiency. That's what I like.
Is there certain people that you found on Instagram that you're like, oh, I really like following, what they do, or I like to incorporate some of their stuff into my content?
Oh, for sure, man. It all stems from Wes Watson, my coach. Like I said, he coaches people on how to coach. And so it's a big network of online coaches like me. So I'm always taking notes from my peers, who's doing it well, of course, because that matters, and just really emulating what they do. And also avoiding things that I may not like, but keeping an open mind and just being a good student, applying the wall. This guy is doing well. This makes sense. Let's apply that. And so just being a constant student of the game, man. There's several guys that I can think of that have influenced me for the better. And the implementation of their practices has really helped me progress.
What are some things that you see people in your career field posting that you feel like are, I guess, some bad practices? You might seen. I've seen people, who I'm not a huge fan of the whole like vegan or carnivore, where you're telling people to stick to just those certain foods, and I'm just not a fan of it. I'm an omnivore. Like I eat
Right.
fruits, vegetables, meat, stuff like that. So that's just something that I would just not suggest, but you might do it. What are some things that you see people suggesting that you just feel like it just isn't good advice based off of the knowledge that you have?
I can't really think of anything really like a black and white topic that I don't like so much. But I think it's more so for me, the energy behind it. What I don't like so much is the scripted aspect of marketing, right? Like I just get on camera and just say what's on my mind. 100%. I'm just Danny. And I
Yeah,
feel like people worry too much about sounding perfect. So they have everything laid out as a script, bam, bam, bam. And it comes off as being robotic. It's not real.
yeah.
So for me, it's more of a ether kind of thing, just feeling people's energy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I do my podcast the way I do. Like, I don't script any questions. Like, a lot of times when I have a podcast and it gets booked with somebody, they're like, okay, what questions are you going to ask? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, that depends on you. I'm going off of what you're saying. So, and again, I'm just curious. So I'm just asking all of these questions just because I'm curious about what you do and who you are. And so that way, everybody knows I'm being genuine because I'm not, looking down at some notes I wrote and then just looking up and asking the questions because I don't want to appear robotic like you were just talking about. I don't want to feel scripted. I want people to know it's authentic. And as we were talking about, like that's how people build trust. That's how you build trust with your audience is they know that you're being genuine and they know that they can trust the things that you say.
So it is, man. Just say it from the heart, dude. Obviously, have intention going in what you're going to talk about, but just be you, man, and people will feel that. Even if you stutter a little bit, leave it on there, man. It makes you more human, right? Those little details. So.
Absolutely. So what are some things that you have found that have helped you on social media as far as like content you post? Maybe you talk about a certain thing that catches on better than other things.
Oh, for sure, man. So me, I one of my posting themes. Every other day, I post a speaking video where I just talk about my thoughts on something philosophical. For example, today I'll post later just a short clip on really the importance of getting political, right? Because it matters. It affects everything that you do, what you have the liberty to do. The other day I posted about really just really listening to your gut and healing yourself physically when you're feeling sick. Take basic steps, get some rest, get some sunlight, eat well. I'm just telling people what works for me personally. And so just to give you an idea there, just express what works for me daily, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a big thing to do what you've been doing, and what you've been preaching is I'm just telling you all the things that I'm doing. Like if y'all just a lot of people they always want to know like what was Jordan doing in the gym? What does all these star athletes do, on an everyday basis? And that's why, social media has gotten so popular for documenting what you do on a daily basis is because that's what people want to know. They feel like there's something secret that you're doing, like, oh, Danny, he's been looking extra ripped, or he's been killing it in all his sales lately. Like, what? How's he doing that? And it's like he's been showing you. Like, there's nothing you aren't missing anything. He's just literally showing you all the simple stuff. So yeah, I think that's very important.
Yeah, 100%, man. Just keep it real. Go all in on what works for you, what you practice. But I'll never go on camera, at least for now, and talk about financial freedom because I'm not there yet. So who the hell is Danny to talk about this? People will sense it too. It's like, all right, bro, where's your Rolex if you're really that financially free? You know what I mean? Come on, dude. But I'll tell you what does work for me: my workout program, my positive habits. Because you see me doing it daily, and you see me beaming when I'm talking about it. That's how you know it's real. So
Yeah, there's this guy that I follow on Instagram. His name is Gino the Ghost, and he does these funny videos where he takes clips from like these popular entrepreneurs on social media, and they're just talking about random stuff, and he's just making fun of them because they're saying these ridiculous things. Like the one he keeps bringing up is I don't know this guy's name, but he was saying like if you own rental property that can create financial freedom. He's like, you should own at least 20 to 30 rental properties by the time you're 30 years old, and then you'll be able to be financially free. It's like, who can buy 20 to 30 rental properties by the time the 30? So he always just takes those things, and it's like, hey, these entrepreneurs are saying unrealistic things. Like, they need to think about the everyday person. The everyday person doesn't have that kind of money to invest. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of cool content to put out there because sometimes people need somebody who's more realistic. Somebody who's more on their level to help them get through whatever situation they're in.
100%, or at least give folks the practical steps on how to get to where what you're talking about, right? It's
Yeah,
not enough to say, oh, do this and that. Get more specific, help people understand, and that can help them along the way.
absolutely. Well, hey, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Give everybody like your info and how they can reach you and your websites or your social links and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I'm focused on Instagram. It's Danny Boy Cardenas, Boy like yellow in the middle, Danny Boy Cardenas. I also have a YouTube, which I definitely need to ramp up on the same name, Danny Boy Cardenas. But Instagram really is my go-to, and that's where I'm at daily, man. Just posting my daily process, my thoughts, just giving as much value as I can, and just being me, man. That's all it is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and speaking about what you do in the fitness and then the mental health space and then also in your real estate adventures. And I hope that goes well for you, man. And that the coaching aspect is something that everybody needs. Everybody needs coaches. Everybody needs a mentor, whether you believe it or not. And it's going to help you escalate your process. So uh, definitely, I hope things go well for you.
Thank you, brother. I'll do my best daily, man. Just keep eating that humble pie. That's all it is, man. And I wish you well too. I know you have an open mind, so I think you'll be just fine too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, all right. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.